Pete, with the benefit of being able to watch the tape, I was curious what your thoughts are on the play of your linebackers and your cornerbacks last night.
I thought the linebackers were really downhill, really aggressive, flashy. Um, I really liked the way those guys played. I thought we took a step forward in the run game and just attacking the line of scrimmage like we want to. We played to the nature of our players, I thought, and uh, which is really good, and because we were aggressive and attacking, and it showed up. Um, Gino was on the money. He was right on everything. Tempo was good. I thought Aiden continued to a little bit. We're not quite as fast when he's playing. We don't play as quick to the from huddle to the snap. Still trying to work that out, and made a poor choice on the throw for the pick. Unfortunately, at a crucial time, that was tough. Just the guy was covered, and should if he had to throw it away or take off, we would have preferred that.
Hey coach, I wanted to ask you about Gino Smith. Back when the two of you were in Seattle, was when he was playing backup to Russell Wilson, was there ever a time or like a moment in practice or in the meeting room where you kind of had this idea that if given the opportunity, like he has the last few years he was in Seattle, now in Las Vegas, that he can be this quality star? Was there ever a moment when he was a backup under Russ that you kind of had that kind of gave you that idea that Gino had that potential?
Yeah, I think it was probably in the middle of those first couple of years, and he'd just seen him, uh, you know, maintain the competitive edge, and I mean, because it's kind of hard to believe that a guy could compete like he's going to play. What I keep telling you is that, the very next play he knew he could be in. He seemed like he held on to that long enough and finally just, sensed that and respected that. And his arm talent was always there, the ability to throw and rip the ball. So I was cheerleading for him, and that's kind of when he finally got his chance. I might have been his biggest cheerleader because he had waited and deserved it, and and he came in and played really well and almost won a game that way, and then played well in the next couple of weeks. That was at the time when he finally got his chance and he got out there. He demonstrated it, but you could sense it earlier than that, just because he was so dedicated. He looked so good in practice all the time.
Pete, obviously your offensive line has been performing well. There's a clear drop off between the first and second. I'm just curious how concerned you are about that second string offensive line, sir.
Well, we're just so young on the second group. It's just going to take time. We feel like we move well. We have good movement by the young guys. They get out of their stance and they get on people well. We're just not as accurate with our calls. We're not as clear with our technique stuff. But that takes time, and so I'm not worried about that. Athletically, we're okay, and we just need to find our consistency, and that's just going to take time. They won't play all at the same time. Very often they'll spot in and all, and they'll have the benefit of experienced guys making calls around them and helping them play better. So I think that the individual development is pretty good. As a group. They're still learning. It's going to take a bit.
Coach, going back to the linebackers and cornerbacks real quick. The linebackers are veterans that are just now starting to play with each other, and the cornerbacks are a bunch of young guys. How do you kind of clean up the communication between those guys and those groups so there's no missed assignments or even blown coverages?
Well, we're not blowing coverages. We're not having any major issues in that regard right now. From inside to all the way to the outside. Those guys are doing good. Safeties handle the corners pretty much with their communications. The communication need to continue to grow between the linebackers and the safeties because they're making the calls that really affect the front and all of that in the back end. So I was really fired up about the linebacker play. I mean, it was one guy or the other. It was another guy. Last week it was some different guys, but they're all in the same mode. These guys are very aggressive in the mentality and their style of play, and so we're trying to keep it so that they're not thinking too much, so they can cut it loose and really get downhill. Because that was a formidable demonstration of our run defense in the early part of that game when the starters were all in there. And we have 3 or 4 guys that were contributing to that. I think that's what we will hold on to. That's what we want to look like.
Coach, in your book, Win Forever, you quote Bill Walsh talking about quarterbacks, how the most important thing that he looks for is that they can throw a catchable ball. And I'm
Yep.
curious if that's still like a core filter in your mind, and if so, how Gino has embodied that in your view.
Yeah, well, appreciate you doing the research. Um, yeah, I think Bill really cut it down to the very, the very, you know, most important aspect of it is does when the guy throws the ball, do they catch it? And so what he meant by that wasn't that you throw it easy or soft to the guys. It means you put it in the right place, you give them the advantage of their positioning with the defense, and you make the opportunity available. I mean, Gino, what we see the combination of Gino and Brock Bowers. Brock is so adept at making throws look like they're exactly the right throw by the way he moves. Well, that's even a step further, than what Coach Walsh was talking about. But I think it's really important. You have to, a guy can throw the ball really hard, he can throw it really far, and all that kind of stuff. It looks pretty doing it. But if the ball isn't placed where the guys can make their plays on it, then he won't be very effective. So Gino has all of that knack, and you see him throw the ball down the field really well as well, and our top guys, Jacoby and Brock, and they're taking advantage of that, and making it look easy almost. And so I think that's really what Coach was talking about.
Pete, we're a little bit over a week away from roster cut down day. Just in the past in your career, and I don't know, maybe you changed your philosophy since you've been away, but how collaborative is that process between yourself, the assistant coaches, the front office, kind of coming together to figure out how you're going to build this roster?
Yeah, it is. We take everybody's input. We don't want to miss a trick here. So that means that everybody that sees something got to speak it and let us know whether it's positive or not, and then John and I are, positioned to go ahead and make the decisions based off the information that everybody gives us. So I'm really encourage our guys to speak up, and not just, defer to somebody else's opinion. I want to hear what they say, and we don't hold anything against them. They can say whatever they want, and then we'll make use of the information. That's really the way we've been doing it for a long time. And whomever I'm working with, and John and I worked real hard so that we're prepared to use each other's experience and expertise and all that to make the best choices possible.
Pete, you had mentioned yesterday that Jackson Powers Johnson remains in a competition at right guard. Curious your thoughts of his performance last night, but also with Alex missing about a week now or so in a couple of games. Are you getting to that crunch time where you got to get him out on the field to give him a fair chance to also compete for this job?
Well, we can't do any more than his injury allows, so we got to wait it out. We got a couple good weeks here, and I know he's feeling way better. But when he gets his chances, he's going to have to make the most of them. JPJ's, getting more comfortable. He continues to be really physical at the spot, and he's a strong and powerful guy. So he's making progress. Jordan is really holding on to his spot. I really like him playing there for us. I think it just he helps everybody, and that's a real positive aspect of your front play when your center can really communicate and be consistent and be on point all the time. But as soon as Alex is ready to go, he'll be battling again and getting jumped back in there. But I don't know when that's going to be.
Pete, I thought Darian Porter had a really, really impressive rep in punt coverage last night. Anybody that saw him at Iowa State knows that he's capable of that and knows what he can do on special teams. But I guess I was just curious your thoughts on that play. And then also, if he does have a very large role on defense, are you still comfortable with him playing a large role on special teams too?
Yes, for sure. He has to play on teams and all of that. All of our DBs have to be involved there. He is really technique solid, man. He has really picked up on the things that we've asked to emphasize, and he's looked sweet, for his first time around. He just needs more plays. He just needs to be out there making more hits and tackles and finishing plays off. They're few and far between for the corners, and you got to be ready when the moment arises. But he's been really solid now, and I've been really impressed. What's happened is Kai Blue's really made the push now. He's really come on, and he's done a really nice job and played well again yesterday, and he's aggressive and comfortable, and and making things happen. So he's just making it a great competition for guys. DCAM did a nice job again. Played good, solid football. Corners are doing fine, and we just need more opportunities for playmaking. We're playing a lot of zone. Ball's getting inside a lot. Niners throw the ball over the football a lot, so those guys weren't able to be as involved. But Stokes's doing a good job. I really like the development of these guys, and they're going to get better as we move forward.
Pete, as you approach the final preseason game, not specific to this year, but in general, how many over the years would you say average legitimate spots are open going into that last game on your 53 man? I mean, do you know?
Man,
I'm not
I really
asking you
don't
who.
know that. I don't know the number of that to tell you, but it's still there's no reason to we don't have to declare anything in a hurry. Let's take in all the information that we can and and that gives the guys the best chance to keep battling. And as they battle, they push the guys that are ahead, and we just get better in that. So we won't make any decisions this week. About what's final and all. We're looking at it though. We have a big meeting coming up this afternoon that will take in everything, all the input up to this point, and then we'll go into this final week with a real thought of guys having to get their opportunities and show what they can do, and hopefully they'll be able to do that. I'm rooting for everybody, I'm cheerleading for everybody that's got a shot here, and I want to make sure that we give them a legitimate chance to show that. So. This is an interesting game because some guys have solidified their positions and others haven't. And so we'll just work our way through it and keep the competition theme going.
Throughout training camp in the preseason, you've seen a lot of distribution amongst the running back with how much carries they're getting, like Chris Collier and Dylan and Sincere and all those guys. What have you seen from that room that you really like in terms of the depth, and also how much will special teams play a part in your decisions with kind of, how that room looks going into the season?
Yeah, like DBs, the special teams contribution is really crucial for us, and we'll take that into account. I think that position group is as solid as any group we've had in terms of their continued high level of play and in all areas, not just running the football, but making their plays in pass protection, helping out when catching and running, and then special teams is alive. So we're going to keep it all into account, take it into account, and let it rip. It was a great night for Ashton last night to have a chance to show some really sparks, and I think we've seen it in practice, but I think the fans got a chance to experience, the physicality that he has, the dynamics that he has to make him miss to run hard and tough. So I was really happy for him. Getting in the end zone was a big deal for him too. It won't be the first time from this point forward. So all that was really positive.
Pete, you had mentioned last night that you had some thoughts on the two long ball throws to Dante Thornton, but you wanted to look at the film first. Curious if you wanted to share what those thoughts were and where that connection might be.
Sorry, I can't solve your curiosity here. We just got to keep working at it. I think there's different ways to throw the ball up the field. You can lay it up with a lot of height on the pass, and you can throw the ball at guys. You can work back shoulders. We're doing all of that in these games, but we haven't really connected the way we've seen our guys connect in practice. So I'm anticipating that we'll smooth that out, and it might take some more time. Dante's getting the edge, and then Gino's just got to get the ball right on it, or he's got to make the play on the football a little bit better than we have. Right off the bat, remember the first pass, the first game that went, it was a back shoulder throw, and we didn't handle that one very well. But it's a catch that he's made in practice many times. So we just got to get those all settled in and get Gino really confident with how he wants to go about putting the ball to him. It's different with different guys, and we're learning that as we go.
We'll do two more, Adam and Honda.
Pete, you have 3 kids with local high school ties on your team, and you made them all captains last night. Just curious why that was important to you, and seemed like a kind of a special moment for Las Vegas football.
Well, I hope so. It was a special moment for those guys also, and I hope. I'm glad that you pointed out that maybe the fans did recognize that we wanted to connect that, and it's really important for us to connect with our fans and to respect, the guys that are from these areas that have their families, and it's very meaningful and to them, and so I wanted to just make a point of it. we're proud of those guys and proud that they represent it. And I hope it our fans keep collecting. We got to knock some of those 49er fans out of our stadium here by keeping them at home somehow and fill that place up with our guys as much as possible. And so whatever we can do to contribute to that, we want to do.
Pete, Terrell Edmunds has only been here a short time. Have you had enough time to make an evaluation yet? What you think of his
Like
progress,
him,
sir?
yeah, I really like him. I like the experience that he brings. He's been in a lot of situations. He's been a very versatile player in the style that he's been asked to play, and that's shown up already. He can be at the line of scrimmage and play the running game. He can knock receivers around downfield. Has a good sense and awareness. Gives you confidence because he's been there before, and it looks like he's played on film. You can see it. So that's we're a little young there at the spots, and so to feel that experience is it's a good positive.